Hello and welcome to the December 16th, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick, brought to you by Some Budget Studios, and let me tell you, we put that budget to good use before the year was out. We're on every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News Facebook page or the YouTube page. That's right, we are simulcasting between Facebook and YouTube. Hooray, we pulled it off. This is a program dedicated to bringing good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back into the world. Several of our articles are pulled from websites like goodnewsnetwork.org and goodgoodgood.co, but we appreciate all of the articles sent in by you, the viewers. Hi, Cassidy, in the Facebook chat. So, yeah, new camera, new desktop, new desk, new monitors. I basically just went all out on new technology for Nick's News before the year was out. And I'm hoping that it will all just benefit future streams. So, camera's a little higher up and looking down at me, but I kind of like it because it gives a better view of the vivariums. I don't know if the camera's actually going to pick it out, but Sue is right here against the glass. Producer Donna sent me an early Christmas present in the form of some holiday items, a stocking. There's some like stamps across the vivariums right now that look really cool. So thank you very much, Producer Donna. Producer Donna also got me something that I'm going to wear when I do streams because this is really cool. So Producer Donna has Pirate Cat's Bay, which we put on our or Pirate Cat's Treasure that we do shout outs for now and then. And we got more people. Hello, Eliza in Facebook. Hello, Joseph in YouTube. So Producer Donna made me this, and it's in my color trio, which is black, purple, and silver. So I'm gonna wear this thing doing these live streams because it is baller. It kind of also reminds me of a centipede, which is like probably the worst case. Pirate Cat's Treasure. Thank you, Producer Donna. It reminds me of a centipede, which is probably like the worst case scenario. If I'm off my rocker and I get a centipede, I probably need to be committed at that point. So keep an eye on me for that. Whew. There we go. So it's just really cool. Hello, Julie in the Facebook chat. Slightly late is still here. My gosh, I have two brand new 27-inch monitors, and I have everything set up properly. I actually have enough room on one monitor to have the live stream feed and my scenes, and on the same monitor now, both chats fit perfectly. And then on the other one, I've got my script, which if I sent you this document, it's a bare bones script. We're doing this live as much as we can. Vertebrae style chainmail. That's really cool. So, and then way over, we've got the articles. Oh, did anybody catch the camera doing that? Did anybody see the camera self-correct? That is a brand new camera. And we are streaming in slightly better, but I'm still trying to push it. Facebook will only allow me to go up to 1080p. However, YouTube can take full advantage of what this camera is capable of. So I might have to change up how the stream works between Facebook and YouTube to take full advantage of this camera and also be able to record in QHD. So we'll see what we do. Let's get into our news, Brew. I picked this one up. I'm trying to remember where I picked this one up. I think I know I was out of town when I snagged it, that's for sure, because it's from Ohio, which means this is one of the only good things that probably comes out of Ohio, and it's beer. And let's see how the new camera deals with this. This is Brandy Barrel Black Falls by Jackie O's Pub and Brewery. And actually, the camera did pretty well with that. This is a 13.5% ABV high-octane Imperial Porter. It was brewed with spicebush, It was conditioned on vanilla and aged in apple brandy barrels and bourbon barrels. So a double-barreled Imperial Porter, one of the higher ABVs for what we've got. It is a bottle, so we need our friend. Oh, that was bad. That was really bad. We need our friend, the Balisong bottle opener. I didn't want to get drops everywhere all over my new desk and my new placemat and everything. Ooh, the vanilla is strong with this one. Actually, I need to pull on this mat a little bit. I need to adjust this. I just went through and I did all of this earlier, and then I look and I have this placemat off. There we go. Okay. I need cookies too. Yes, Julie, in the Facebook chat, I do. Julie is an amazing baker, and Julie has baked me a bunch of cookies. Maybe for either our next episode, which is the follow-up episode, I will have some cookies and beer. I actually have the news brews picked out. The one we're ending on this year is a banger. So look forward to those. I managed to score this beer out in Boston the last time I was there. And man, am I looking forward to it. So 6 different cookies. Nice. All right. So Imperial Porters, chalices, and goblets. I have my St. Bernardus Watteau goblet, because I'm facetious as hell. This is probably going to be a couple pours to get through, but we'll get into the theatrics of a 1 to 5 minute pour. Ooh, is all of this going to fit in this goblet? My gosh. All of it fit in the goblet. Good to the last drop. Oh my. Oh my. My God, that is a beer. I know, that's one of the things I want to work on for next year. I want to work on different scenes to be able to select that'll do different things. If we have engineering, obviously I do my little thing because I am an engineer, I love engineering. But for like the 1 minute pour, queuing up some music that's not copyrighted and will get me DMCA'd into the dirt, things like that would be really great to add as we go along. So let's go into our news quote. This is a good one. Producer Donna helped me find this one, and I really like this one, so here we go. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. There is power in numbers, there is strength in unity, and camaraderie and friendship, and walking as one. And that is a quote from Joan Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was an American lawyer and a jurist, and they also served as an associate justice of the Supreme Court of the United States from 1993 until her passing in 2020. So again, fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. To Joan Ruth Bader Ginsburg, thank you and cheers. Good evening, Mona, in the YouTube chat. And good evening, Charlie, in the Facebook chat. And oh my God, 13.5% just kicked me in the chest. Holy crap. Oh, you are not pulling your punches, sir. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's good, but it's strong. Holy crap. All right. I skipped our shout-outs. I'm going to go back to them now because the new setup, it kind of threw me for a loop. So getting into our shout-outs, let me tell you about Speek Geek Voice Acting. Yes, I know it's spelled incorrectly. You can find all these shout-outs in the descriptions of our videos on YouTube and Facebook. In the world of voiceover, Anthony can be anyone. Be it a hero or a villain, a prince or a pauper. He's a shy guy or the exuberant life of the party. Contact him if you need character voiceover, corporate voiceover, including IVR and voice on hold, or commercial voiceover. Anthony says, let's work together so we can give your project the voice that it deserves. There are links to go to Speek Geek Voice Acting. I have played in several games with Anthony, and I have a fun time just chatting with them. It's a fantastic... He's got a great voice, so if you need some voiceover work, contact Speek Geek Voice Acting. Cheers. What about Sue? Can you see him? Producer Donna, or was it picking up his clicking? He's clicking against the glass right now. Can you see him, or did the microphone pick him up? I'm really curious why Producer Donna just shouted Sue. And I'm wondering if it's because he was visible for a moment. And this new camera, Sue was running around. The camera is powerful enough. Oh, I see him. Oh my god, I can see him moving in the camera. Oh, he's so terrifying. Oh my god, he's right. He just went away. He was right there a moment ago. Oh, I can't believe the camera is strong enough to pick him up. That's fantastic. This camera is amazing. All right, next shout out. A big shout out to our graphics artist and chief technical officer, Grayson, who helped get all of our new technology up and running seamlessly. I can't thank Grayson enough. He basically hopped into a chat with us when I was getting the new computer set up and everything. Pictures to come of the new setup and the new rig. And the specs for it, if y'all are interested on what I picked up for gaming and Nick's News. I mean, I picked it up with Nick's News in mind, but I picked it up as a gaming computer because I need it. And Grayson went through and helped me get all of this set up, and I couldn't be more thankful. So to Grayson, our graphics artist and chief technical officer, cheers. Charlie in the Facebook chat, he was talking smack about Sue. He's been super active the last 2 days. Like when I got back, that night he came out in force, and then today he's been out since I got home. So it's very cool that the camera's picking him up. Dad, tap tap, dad, tap tap tap, fight me. It's exactly what he's doing. He's a monster. Another shout out for producer Donna's mother, who today she's celebrating her birthday. December 16th is Donna's mother's birthday. So, Randy, happy birthday. Cheers. And last but not least, and this is a big one, a very special thank you to all of you, our Nick's Newsies, who tune in, who check us out, who spread the word of good news. You've given us the best holiday gift that any of us here at Nick's News could have ever asked for. We have crossed the line, the threshold of 200 followers. We have over 200 followers now, and we have over 40 subscribers on YouTube. And when you think of like the major streamers and everything, obviously these numbers are small, but it's a number of people that to me is exciting and big and getting the good news out, and I absolutely love that. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in and making Nick's News what it is, which is a show dedicated to bringing good news, and all of you are taking that good news and taking it with you out into the world, so thank you all. You all have made this year truly epic. And for us at Nick's News, we are grateful. So to you, our viewers, cheers. And happy birthday to Charlie's brother, Avis. He's 41. Happy birthday, Avis. Cheers. We'll tag that one on at the end. And Eliza, Eliza in the Facebook chat, I tried to share it with friends and coworkers. Eliza, I greatly appreciate that. The word of mouth, I haven't started putting money into like boosting this or doing advertisements. That is something that I'm going to look into doing in 2025, just using my own money to boost Nick's News. I'm not doing Patreon. I'm not doing setups like that. I'm just going to fund getting this even further. And if it costs money to beat the bad news cycle, I will pay the money to beat the bad news cycle. This is just a good way to do it. So it's a worthy investment. Rebecca in Facebook, hi, whose birthday is it? What did I miss? The birthday shoutouts that we did is Randy, producer Donna's mother, and Avis, Charlie's brother, both celebrating birthdays. Okay, bug update. This is a big one. I don't know how many of you watch the Instagram, but Nick's News has an Instagram, and I do post some things to it. I post some behind-the-scenes stuff. I'll post news brews ahead of time, and I'll post things going on out here ahead of time. I don't know if I did a post of the new rig last week when I got everything up and running. I know I was posting the pictures of like the boxes of the monitors and the tower, but I don't think I posted the setup originally on my old desk. But I did post something this morning. Because when I woke up, there was some breaking news, and we'll get to it at the end of the bug update. So first, bug update. Elmira, she sleeps. She's asleep. She's in hibernation. Hoping to see her in a few months. Sue, he grumbles. He be grumbling. He's somewhere in there grumbling right now. Probably because he ate everything else that was in that tank that wasn't a cleaner. He actually leaves the cleaners alone, which is good. Ripley scuttles around. I actually found Ripley last night when I got home really late from Chicago. Ripley was in a spot in the vivarium I've never seen her in before, so she scuttles around. Lastly, if you didn't see the Instagram, it turns out I had another Christmas present this morning that unwrapped itself. Madeline Pryor, our Chinese praying mantis, before she passed away, she made an egg case. And this morning, it hatched. And now there's a small army of baby Chinese mantises running around in that vivarium. And it's why, if you look closely, you will see paper towel shoved into every orifice that is just barely thick enough for them to escape. Because I found several outside of the tank. In fact, while producer Donna and I were getting the stream all set up earlier, I had a small meltdown when in the camera I could see one running around. And then I ran over and I had to play damage control because at least 5 others had escaped at the same time. So I have a small army of baby mantises that I am calling the Swarm. And you can expect to see the Swarm featured on a future installment of Nick's Flora and Fauna on Tuesdays on the main Facebook page. My next update is a Flora update, so it'll be another one of my plants. But after that, I will showcase baby mantises and how to take care of baby mantises. So, Madeline, these little goblins will do you proud. So yeah, I guess that kind of is the third birthday. This is the birth date of the Swarm. Thank you, Mona, in the YouTube chat for that. All right, let's get into our good news. We've had so much to talk about, and here we go into the good news. Our broadcast is broken up into 4 major categories, and those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really nice articles that get touchy-feely, and we like to end on. Nice Ender's Game reference. Hello, Donna in the Facebook chat. That is a different Donna. Christmas came early. In more ways than one. Producer Donna sent me these wonderful little bug things to stick up on the wall. I got all of my computer set up, and now I've got baby mantises. What a wonderful Christmas. All right, so we're going to start off in Category 1, Science and Technology. First article I called Totally Radical Spacesuit, Dude. And I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. And yes, producer Donna, I was in the call. I was in a call with producer Donna getting things set up when the swarm started to break out of the tank, and I was losing my mind, yelling at baby mantises. All right, let's get into this. Actually, I think I'm going to move... Oh, this is so cool. I didn't think I was going to like Windows 11, to be honest, but I'm digging it. Because I can move stuff around so much easier between tiles. Okay. Astronaut Armor. Next-gen Astro-Rad Vest shields against deadly solar radiation. This was posted to SciTech Daily on December 15th, 2024 by the International Space Station U.S. National Laboratory. The Astro-Rad Vest, developed by STEMRAD and Lockheed Martin, protects astronauts from solar radiation, combining mobility and safety. Tested extensively on the ISS and during Artemis 1, it uses high-density polymers to safeguard vital organs. The latest issue of Upward, the official magazine of the International Space Station National Laboratory, features the Astro-Rad Vest, a groundbreaking wearable technology designed to protect astronauts from harmful solar radiation during deep space missions. Developed through a partnership between STEMRAD and Lockheed Martin, without a doubt one of my favorite companies of all time, the vest has been extensively tested aboard the ISS, resulting in major improvements in both design and functionality. NASA astronaut Kayla Barron, who evaluated the vest on the ISS, describes it in Upward as like a gravity blanket in space, noting the balance it aims to strike between protection and mobility. She emphasized the importance of custom-fit wearable solutions for astronauts, calling the Astro-Rad vest an elegant solution to a challenging engineering problem. Apparently the Facebook chat is going wild because Julie said, "What happened to Nick? He was taken over by the swarm." And then the Facebook chat erupted into thoughts of me being assimilated. Okay. The Astro-Rad vest employs high-density polymers to selectively shield vital organs, most vulnerable to radiation exposure, addressing cancer and radiation sickness risks. Insights from the ISS National Lab sponsored investigation enabled STEMRAD and partners to improve the vest's ergonomics and functionality, advancing efforts toward a safer deep space exploration. Oren Milstein, CEO at STEMRAD, highlighted the significance of leveraging the microgravity environment. It allowed us to test the vest in a real space environment and laid the groundwork for other collaborations and tests, where we could take the concept even further. The vest's development involved extensive collaboration with engineer Kat Kaderi, deputy manager for Deep Space Exploration Advanced Programs at Lockheed Martin, referring to the process as a vest saga. By utilizing the ISS National Lab, the team obtained invaluable feedback for refining the design for long-duration wear during solar particle events. The vest was also tested during the Artemis 1 mission, furthering its role in advancing human space exploration. Astro-Rad represents a critical advancement in astronaut safety, paving the way for deeper space exploration. To learn more about Astro-Rad's development and testing on board the space station, you can read the Upward feature, Armor for Astronauts. That is really cool. To everybody at the ISS National Laboratory and to everyone at Lockheed Martin working on safety for future generations of our astronauts with Astro-Rad Vest. Cheers. Oh my gosh. The beer is delicious. There's a lot of, like, the vanilla's super sharp. The apple brandy is just like the sweetest touch of apple. And the bourbon is strong. But man, that beer slaps. All right. That was it for science and technology. We're going to get into category 2, health and medicine. And we've got a double feature here. of cancer. Fuck cancer. I'll copy and paste this first one into the chat if y'all would like to read along. And we're just going to start bulling right ahead because only that one day did we ever have problems with the articles not posting properly to the chat. Lilith shouting in the Facebook chat, health and medicine, or medicine, one of the two. Mushroom extract shows promising effects against prostate cancer. This comes from Science Alert on December 7th, 2024. It was written by Carly Casella. Exotic mushrooms like the lion's mane have become famous for their medicinal promises, but even the most basic of fungal fruiting bodies may be hiding powerful immune benefits. The white button mushroom, Agaricus bisporus, is the world's most cultivated edible mushroom, and while it is not usually considered medicinal, emerging evidence from mice and humans suggests its extract can possibly slow or even prevent the growth of prostate cancer. To date, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has never approved a food-derived product as an anti-cancer medicine, so the road ahead is steep. Nevertheless, scientists at the City of Hope, a cancer research and treatment organization in the U.S., say they are following the FDA's regulatory guidelines to provide a scientific foundation by which to prove the health effects of this mushroom. And mind you, in this article, there are additional links to other articles backing up what this group is trying to do, and I really appreciate that. It's all about those meds from Julie in the Facebook chat. Medicina, I think, is what Eliza is saying. And Lilith, yes, I was right all along. Mushrooms are great. No red cap. Oh, because I'm all about them shrooms. No red caps. I'm going to get DMCA'd if I keep singing. All right. After years of work, they argue their newest findings strengthen the rationale for white button mushrooms as a nutraceutical approach to slow the progression of prostate cancer when given as an adjuvant therapy after a primary treatment. We're finding that plant-derived substances may one day be used to support traditional cancer treatment and prevention practices, explains cancer biologist Sean Chen from the City of Hope. This study suggests that food as medicine treatments could eventually become normal, evidence-based cancer care that is recommended for everyone touched by cancer. Like many tumors, prostate cancer guards against the body's attacks by churning out what are known as myeloid-derived suppressor cells, or MDSCs, immature white cells with a knack for suppressing the body's immune system. Damn you, cancer. White button mushrooms may have the power to bust through this shield. In a previous Phase 1 clinical trial, researchers at the City of Hope found promising signs that white button mushroom extract can lower the toxicity profiles of prostate cancer cases, with signs in a handful of volunteers of a decline in circulating MDSCs. After consuming mushroom tablets twice daily for months, some individuals had markers of prostate cancer in their blood decrease to undetectable levels. Now a follow-up study on mice and a Phase 2 clinical trial involving blood samples taken from patients with prostate cancer digs into the possible mechanisms behind this effect. Lilith is busting at the seams in the Facebook chat. In mouse models of prostate cancer, the mushroom's extract significantly delayed the growth of tumors and extended survival. Specifically, researchers found mice treated with the extract showed lower levels of tumor-derived suppressor cells in their blood, which means the immune system can get where it needs to go and fight the cancer. Meanwhile, in an ongoing Phase 2 clinical trial, scientists have measured fewer suppressor cells and more anti-tumor immune cells in patients with prostate cancer treated with the mushroom extract. The results suggest white button mushrooms can boost anti-cancer immune defenses and slow cancer growth when given as part of other therapies. What exactly it is within the mushroom extract that achieves this incredible outcome is currently unknown. Botanical products like plant material, algae, or fungi contain a huge number of chemicals, which means that if they do have anti-cancer properties, it is possibly because they tackle a wide range of cancerous routes all at once. Whittling down the candidates is tedious work, which is why clinical trials are advised to focus on safety and efficacy more than mechanism of action. The mushroom extract may contain soluble fibers, proteins, lipids, and phytochemicals, all of which could have toxic effects on cancer cells. While our research has promising early results, the study is ongoing, says Xiaoqiang Wang, City of Hope staff scientist and first author of the study. That said, it couldn't hurt if people wanted to add more fresh white button mushrooms to their everyday diet. To everybody in the City of Hope and this research facility that is scientists at the City of Hope that are trying to determine what it is in white button mushrooms, a simple everyday snack for some, that can fight prostate cancer. Cheers. And now, I will copy and paste our second Fuck Cancer article into the chat if y'all want to read along. Eliza in the Facebook chat, Algae 2, yes. Back when I was still... Actually, it was a little bit after I stopped working at Grand Valley State University's Annis Water Resource Institute. There was a, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Oh my gosh. I'm going to look him up real quick. I've only run into him a handful of times since I left Grand Valley. Oh man, Dr. Mark Luttington. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name. I haven't gotten to work with him or seen him in so long. Dr. Luttington was running some tests looking at algae samples at the bottom of, I think it was Lake Michigan, and potential cancer-fighting properties, and I just thought that was bonkers. So yeah, just some really cool stuff with fungi, with algae. Let's get into this one. Major shift in cervical cancer screening, what the proposed guidelines mean for women. This was published December 14th of 2024 on Gizmodo by Ed Cara. Getting checked for cervical cancer is looking to become a lot more convenient. An influential panel of experts is calling for new changes to the current recommendations surrounding cervical cancer screening, changes that should result in fewer pap smears for many women starting in their 30s. On Tuesday, the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force issued its draft guidelines for the screening of cervical cancer in the U.S. The most notable difference will be recommending that women ages 30 to 65 only need to get tested for high-risk strains of the human papillomavirus, or HPV, every 5 years, rather than needing to get pap smears every 3 years. The guidelines should make cervical cancer screening a less stressful experience for most American women. The USPSTF is under the umbrella of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, but its members are voluntary outside experts that are brought in to review the evidence and to provide recommendations on a variety of topics related to preventative health care, including cancer screening. Its guidelines are widely followed by healthcare professionals and influence the health coverage of certain preventative services whose value is backed by strong evidence. Currently, the USPSTF recommends that women ages 20 to 29 start getting screened for cervical cancer every 3 years via cervical cytology, or the pap smear. Women between 30 and 65 are currently recommended to either receive a pap smear every 3 years, a high-risk HPV test every 5 years, or a combination pap smear HPV test every 5 years. The USPTF's recommendation for women in their 20s is staying the same, but its experts are now saying that women over 30 should primarily only opt for HPV testing every 5 years. These tests work by checking vaginal samples for types of HPV infection known to raise the risk of cervical cancer. Women over 65 are generally not advised to seek screening for cervical cancer if they've received regular testing before and are not at high risk otherwise. Nor are women who have had total hysterectomies, where the cervix is removed, with no history of precancerous cervical lesions. Or lesions. Yay from Cassidy, and thank the gods from Eliza in the Facebook chat. The USPTF's stated rationale for the change is simple enough. High-risk HPV infections are by far the leading cause of cervical cancer, accounting for nearly all cases. And in women over 30, looking for these infections first and foremost seems to be the most useful way to detect cervical cancer as early as possible, based on the evidence assessed by the USPTF. Additionally, the USPTF has determined that self-collected HPV tests are just as valid for screening as those performed by a healthcare professional. 2 HPV tests were recently approved by the Food and Drug Administration this year for self-collection. The latest science shows that screening for cervical cancer with an HPV test is the optimal approach for women who are 30 to 65 years old, said Task Force Vice Chair John Wong, a primary care clinician in the Department of Medicine at Tufts Medical Center, in a statement from the USPTF announcing the news. The guidelines will still call for women over 30 to receive pap smears or combination testing if the standard HPV test isn't available. And patients and their doctors can still always choose the method they most prefer. If it is possible that the USPTF's draft recommendations could substantially change before they're finalized next year, though this rarely happens. As usual, the USPTF is allowing the public and outside experts to weigh in on their decision, with the comment period open until mid-January. That's pretty slick that they are leaving that open for the public as well to be able to make their cases. So it's really neat. Producer Donna in the Facebook chat, you can do one of these tests at home. Yeah, that's really neat that they have included that, and that it works. Like, it's just as good as having a healthcare professional administering this test. Hell yeah, just do it yourself if you can or if you want to. If these new guidelines are enshrined as expected, they should make cervical cancer screening a less time and resource-intensive experience for many women in the U.S. The expansion of screening and the arrival of vaccines that prevent most high-risk HPV infections have greatly reduced the incidences of cervical cancer in the U.S. and worldwide in recent decades, though it remains the 4th most common cancer in women globally. And every time we get an article of fighting cervical cancer, we're going to be having that up for the same topic title. So, to everybody at the USPTF, the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, all of these doctors, and to everybody who's putting in this information to make this medical procedure less intensive on women, and finding different ways to do it, cheers. Okay, so that's going to get us out of health and medicine. We're going to move on to category 3, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. And we've got another double feature here, double feature of all the buzz. So this first one is going to come from Cassidy. Thank you very much, Cassidy. I will copy and paste these into the chat if y'all want to read along. Rapid spread of bee-killing Asian hornets halted in the UK. This comes from The Guardian. It was posted on December 13th, 2024 by PA Media. Really? That's who wrote this one? It doesn't list another author. Okay. Rapid action against an invasive bee-killing hornet has stopped its spread in the UK despite suitable climate and habitat for the insect, a study has found. Research led by the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology, the UKCEH, looked at how suitable European countries were for the yellow-legged or Asian hornet to become established, and how they might have spread without action. This is indeed Vespa velutina. This is one of the murder hornets that captured audiences and news alike and the news cycle for like a week several months ago. They've been in the UK a lot longer than they've been trying to set up bases here in the US. So for the UK to be able to start to stop these things, that is an amazing feat. The non-native Asian hornet, which arrived in France in a cargo of pottery from China about 20 years ago and has spread rapidly across the continent, can kill 50 bees a day and has devastated honeybee colonies in France and Italy, experts said. It was first seen in the UK in 2016, and there have been regular sightings since, including 44 confirmed this year, largely in Kent and East Sussex. But the National Bee Unit responds rapidly to reports of the invasive species, which preys on honeybees and other pollinating insects, destroying hornets and nests that it finds, the UK CEH said. The EU-funded study, published in the Journal of Applied Ecology, found there were areas where the climate and habitat was highly suitable for the hornets in France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, the UK, and Ireland. By December of 2023, the yellow-legged hornet had established itself in France, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, Portugal, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and Jersey. The study revealed that without action, the Asian hornet could have been established across a minimum of 1,680 square kilometers, or 650 square miles for those of us that landed people on the moon, of the UK by 2020. By 2026, a decade after the first UK sightings, the hornet could have been established in 44 to 66% of the area of the country that has suitable climate and habitat for it, the study found. But although there have been individual sightings in the UK since 2016, there has been no spread across the country because all nests have been removed, suggesting surveillance and rapid eradication attempts have helped limit the hornet's spread, the study said. The lead author, Dr. Richard Hassall of the UK CEH, said no significant spread has yet been reported in the UK, and while there has been recent establishment in Germany and the Netherlands, our predictions suggest that the attempts to tackle the yellow-legged hornet in these countries have so far been successful in limiting its spread. This is due to the fantastic efforts by vigilant members of the public who report suspected sightings of yellow-legged hornets, then rapid action by the authorities to locate and eradicate the insects and the nests found. Significant resources have gone into monitoring and slowing the spread of this invasive non-native species in the UK and parts of Europe, so it is encouraging to find these efforts appear to have been effective. Professor Helen Roy of the UK CEH and the University of Exeter, a co-author of the study, said, "We are grateful to everyone who is helping to track the spread of the yellow-legged hornet. The contributions of volunteers to citizen science initiatives, such as the Asian Hornet Watch app, are inspiring. The yellow-legged hornet is a voracious predator and has caused notable losses of honeybees in parts of Europe, and we predict there would be major impacts to wild pollinators in the UK if it establishes here." To everybody at the UK CEH for tackling, and to everybody in the UK who notice these things and use an app to alert the authorities to them, who then go and clear these nests out, and to Cassidy for sending in this article, cheers. I am usually not much for the destruction of insects of any type. Clearly, I keep several arthropods. I raise them as well. But in the case of invasive species, and especially ones as rampant as yellow-legged hornets or any of the Japanese wasps that are trying to make their footholds in other areas of suitable ecosystem, I'm okay with that. Mona, I'm so glad they don't call them murder hornets. I hate the moniker. They're just nasty things. They really are. So this next one is another All the Buzz, and I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. I don't know if I know it was said before that like the mic was never catching up or never catching the sound of the fans going on my laptop. This tower, I don't know if it's catching the very slight hum from this tower. This thing hasn't kicked up at all this entire time. It's been running at about the same amount of brain power, which is less than 1% of what it's capable of, whereas my old laptop was doing like 20 to 30% of its brain to run this stream. So, like, this thing is a champ. A revolutionary lab just solved a major gap in bumblebee conservation by breeding bees in captivity. This came from goodgoodgood.co on December 9th of 2024, and it was posted by Megan Cook. Lilith in the Facebook chat confirming, nope, not at all. Can't hear this thing. It is whisper quiet. And it's been saying about the same temperature, too, the whole time. Like, nothing is getting this thing down. I'm sorry, I don't mean to brag about it. I haven't bought a new computer in so long, and I just decided to treat myself. And plus, this thing will last us for a while. So, in 2021, scientists in... Oh, no. Producer Donna, I forgot how it's pronounced. Oh, Guelph? Is it Guelph? I think it's Guelph. Producer Donna's gonna yell at me after the stream. She's gonna blow me up for this. Yes, good job. All right, it's Guelph. In 2021, scientists in Guelph, Ontario, set out to accomplish something that had never been done before. Open a lab specifically designed for raising bumblebees in captivity. Now, 3 years later, the scientists at the Bumblebee Conservation Lab are celebrating a huge milestone. Over the course of 2024, they successfully pulled off what was once deemed impossible and raised a generation of yellow-banded bumblebees. The Bumblebee Conservation Lab, which operates under the nonprofit Wildlife Preservation Canada, is the culmination of a decade-long mission to save the bee species, which is listed as endangered under the Xerxes Society for Invertebrate Conservation. Chat is blowing up a little bit about me bragging slightly about the new desktop. Thank you, Lily. I really do appreciate that. I need to brag about it. I deserve good things. Thank you. And yes, producer Donna backing that up. It wasn't just a treat. We need it for plans for the future of Nick's News and the growth of Nick's News. So it is a very intelligent and solid investment. All right, back to the Fuzz Buzz Nurseries, as Eliza put it. Fuzz Buzz Nursery. Yes, that is correct, producer Donna. Lilith is right, and I hate admitting that. All right, back to the article. The Xerxes Society for Invertebrate Conservation has things to say. WPC began working with endangered bumblebees in 2013. Lance Wooliver, Executive Director of Wildlife Preservation Canada, told Cottage Life. As such, we now have more experience working with bumblebee conservation than most other organizations in Canada. Although the efforts have been in motion for over a decade, the lab itself is a recent development that has rapidly accelerated conservation efforts. For bee scientists, the urgency was necessary. We could see the major declines happening rapidly in Canada's native bumblebees and knew we had to act, not just talk about the problem, but do something practical and immediate, Wooliver said. Yellow-banded bumblebees, which live in southern Canada and across a huge swatch of the United States, were once a common species. However, like many other bee species, their populations declined sharply in the mid-1990s from a litany of threats, including pathogens, pesticides, and dramatic habitat loss. Since the turn of the century, scientists have plunged in to give bees a helping hand, but it was only in the last decade that Wooliver and his team identified a major gap in bumblebee conservation and set out to solve it. No one knew how to breed threatened species in captivity, he explained. This is critically important if assurance populations are needed to keep a species from going extinct and to assist with future reintroductions. To start their experiment, scientists hand-selected wild queen bees throughout Ontario and brought them to the temperature-controlled lab, where they were treated like queens and fed tiny balls of nectar and pollen. Then, with the help of Ontario's African Lion Safari theme park, the queens were brought out to small outdoor enclosures and paired with other bees, with the hope that mating would occur. For some pairs, they had to play around with different environments to set the mood, swapping out spacious flight cages for cozier colony boxes. And it worked. The two biggest success stories of 2024 were that we successfully bred our focal species, yellow-banded bumblebees, through their entire life cycle for the first time, Wolliver said. And the first successful overwintering of yellow-banded bumblebees last winter allowed us to establish our first lab generation, doubling our mating successes and significantly increasing the number of young queens for overwintering to wake early spring and start their own colonies for future generations and future reintroductions. Although the first of its kind experiment required careful planning, consideration, resources, and a decade of research, Wolliver hopes that their efforts inspire others to help bees in backyards across North America. Be aware that our native bumblebees really are in serious decline, Wolliver noted. So when cottagers see bumblebees pollinating plants in their gardens, they really are seeing something special. Mona in the YouTube chat. The name Guelph comes via the Italian Guelfo from the Bavarian Welf, a reference to the House of Welf to honor King George IV, the reigning British monarch at the time of the city's founding. Interesting. Thank you for that, Mona. Lilith in the Facebook chat, love that we're all just talking about the birds and the bees right now. Ha. Get it? Thank you, Lilith. To everybody, all of the scientists working at Wildlife Preservation Canada and the Bumblebee Conservation Lab for managing to breed yellow-banded bumblebees for the first time and establish colonies of them. Cheers. All right, so that's going to get us out of flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. We are going to get into category 4, our final category, the wholesome notes. We've got two great ones, so here we go. First one I called CNN's Hero of the Year. And I will copy and paste these into the chat if y'all want to read along. Stephen Knight, who provides foster homes for dogs while their owners seek addiction treatment, is CNN's Hero of the Year. This was posted on CNN.com. It was posted on December 8th, 2024 by Gabriel Kinder and Allie Torgan. Stephen Knight, whose nonprofit saves lives by providing foster care for dogs while their owners focus on addiction recovery, is the 2024 CNN Hero of the Year. Online voters selected him from this year's top 5 CNN heroes. This means everything. I represent so much here. I represent the recovery community, the dog rescue community. This is going to be able to take us to the next level, he said. Knight's journey began in 2011, when at the age of 51 he had lost everything to meth addiction: his family, his job, his home, and nearly his life. HIV positive and living out of his car, Knight entered rehab at the behest of his mother. After months of treatment, and at a delicate time in his recovery, Knight's life changed when a friend showed up at his door in tears. She had relapsed, and in her arms was her beloved dog, Jade. Knight's friend said no one would take Jade, and she asked Knight for a ride to a shelter so she could surrender her. I looked at Jade and we looked at each other, Knight said. It was one of the most spiritual moments, like, I think we might need each other here. Knight soon realized that other people were delaying or forgoing treatment because they could not find safe housing for their pets. He sought advice on best practices from a local animal rescue and educated himself on foster care protocol. These shelters are running 150% over capacity. If you're over capacity, then you start euthanizing dogs, Knight said. We cannot have the solution be euthanized dogs. We can't. In 2015, Knight's organization, Dogs Matter, became a registered nonprofit, and he buttoned up his program, vetting applicants, conducting animal behavior assessments, and executing contracts that require participants to stick to their recovery plan and complete a 12-month post-release wraparound program. Today, Knight lives with his 3 dogs, Jade, Piper, and Lady, and his organization has helped more than 1,200 dogs and their owners. As Knight approaches 14 years clean and sober, he hopes to make Dogs Matter a national model program with the goal of giving other animals and their humans the same second chance at life that he got. I share this award with Jade. She's the reason why I did this. One act of kindness, and then to have that dream and that goal, to be able to help others and do one step at a time to get there. And 1,200 dogs later, it's amazing. It's just beginning, too. As CNN Hero of the Year, Knight will receive $100,000 to expand his work. He and the other top 5 CNN heroes each receive a $10,000 cash award along with donation matching up to $50,000 each from the Elevate Prize Foundation. Knight will also receive an additional $50,000 from Elevate. In its 3rd year of collaboration with CNN Heroes, Elevate is also providing organizational and capacity building support to the honorees. Notable guests joined the broadcast to help share the top 5 CNN Heroes stories, including Bradley Cooper, Pedro Pascal, Oprah Winfrey, Misty Copeland, and Zachary Quinto. Denai Guerrera helped honor this year's Young Wonders, and Kelly Ripa saluted the heroes too. The 2nd annual CNN Heroes Legacy Award was presented to Michael J. Fox. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at age 29, and Fox has brought hope to millions worldwide since launching the Michael J. Fox Hope Foundation in 2000. They have funded $2 billion so far to speed up Parkinson's research and eradicate the disease. During his acceptance remarks, Fox shared the honor with others. I'm very proud on behalf of all the people with Parkinson's and their families who have fought so hard for a cure and fought so hard for answers and new drugs in the pipeline, and through our foundation have found a way to realize that. Teenage twins Brooke and Brianna Bennett were honored as CNN Heroes Young Wonders. They founded Women in Training Incorporated to end period poverty in the U.S., where 1 in 4 girls cannot afford menstrual products, which can cause them to miss school. In 2019, the girls learned about this issue as they approached their 12th birthday, and they wanted to find a way to give back in celebration. Their nonprofit provides girls, women, and non-binary youth with free period products, education, and mentorship. Right now, your donation to any of the top 5 CNN heroes could go twice as far. CNN has teamed up with GoFundMe to enable donations to this year's honorees. Contributions made through January 5th are being matched dollar for dollar by the Elevate Prize Foundation. You can learn more and help the heroes at cnnheroes.com right now. You can also follow the Elevate Prize Foundation on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, now called X. Do you know someone you think should be a CNN hero? 2025 CNN Hero nominations are open at cnnheroes.com. Just fill out the form and share their good work. They could be the next CNN Hero of the Year. That is bonkers. That one pulled at my heart there. To Stephen Knight and his nonprofit, Dogs Matter, and to all of the CNN heroes for everything they do. You are all heroes. Cheers. Lilith, you have a great night in the Facebook, and Julie, no worries. Mona in the YouTube, wow, wonderful set of heroes, love it. I do too, Mona, I do too. And speaking of heroes, I called this last article for tonight, Not All Heroes Wear Capes. And I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat for y'all to read along. Little boy with leukemia returns to hospital to deliver 400 Christmas gifts to kids still there for the holidays. And this was posted to goodnewsnetwork.org on December 7th of 2024. By goodnewsnetwork.org itself. A 4-year-old boy with leukemia has dropped off more than 400 bags of Christmas presents at the children's hospitals where he received care. Elliot Hole and his mother Harley decided to give back by distributing advent calendars and other fun items to keep sick kids entertained through the holidays. The mom in Kent, England set up an Amazon wish list so that members of her community could purchase gifts, and they ended up with 346 items for tucking into party bags, including chocolate, games, bubbles, stickers, stationery, and more. The family then dropped them off in crates to 3 local hospitals, the Royal Marsden in Sutton, King's College in London, and Princess Royal University Hospital in Farnborough. From what I have experienced, you are stuck in a room and unable to leave because of viruses, and it gets very boring, Harley, who is a hairdresser by trade, told SWNS News. The reception from the patients was brilliant. The nurses were all amazed by how much there was. We wheeled in this huge crate of presents. I stopped counting when we got to 400, but I would say in total we did about 440, as well as over 100 calendars. Harley first noticed something was wrong with Elliot in January of 2022, when he had started limping. They took him to the hospital, where some blood tests were done, and 3 days later they were told he had acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Elliot then started a 3-year treatment plan that entails daily chemotherapy, which will end in March. I sometimes forget what we have been through. When I hear other family stories, I think, wow, that's awful. Then I remember that we are that family too. When he was first diagnosed, we basically lived between King's, Marsden, and Darrant Valley Hospital for the first 4 months. Now, I need to be on hold for Elliot at all times. Because of his temperature spikes, we need to get him to King's within the hour. He is a very kind little boy. He is quite outgoing. Considering everything that he has been through, you would never think that anything was ever up. He is quite strong-willed and just powers through. Harley says that receiving a gift bag like this would have meant a lot to Elliot and herself at the peak of his treatment. The kids love it, and it is nice to know that people are with you, standing alongside you. The community has been amazing. It was heartwarming to see how many people got involved. As Elliot approaches the end of his treatment, he is beginning to take part in more hobbies and has just started playing soccer. Harley says she is thrilled that her son is finishing treatment. It is a milestone that obviously not all children get to reach. To Elliot Hole and his mother Harley for delivering over 400 bags of Christmas presents to children's hospitals that Elliot himself had to visit to give other children Christmas cheer when they might not be able to have it. You are a hero. Cheers. That is it for our broadcast. 7 amazing articles for our last normal episode of the year. Next week, tune in when we are going to have our special follow-up episode. We are going to be scouring Nick's News articles from this last year and looking for good follow-ups. It could be medical journals that had advancements. It could be, who knows, it could be follow-ups to what different organizations that we covered were doing with delivering things. There's a ton of options for follow-up, and there's some great stuff out there. Just because we're not talking about it doesn't mean these things aren't going on. So next week is going to be our follow-up episode, and the week after that is going to be our year-in review, where we talk about where Nick's News started this year, where it's going, and where it's going next year. So, yeah, just 2 unique episodes to wrap up the year. And this has been great. It's been a great year. Thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Knicks News Facebook page or the YouTube page. Again, we're live usually every Sunday, and our next episode is on December 22nd, 2024. I encourage participation, so if you feel inclined, you can message us or post suggestions for news brews, shout-outs, news quotes, and good news articles that we can present on future episodes. Unless it is a follow-up from a previous article of this year, we're not going to be doing submissions for the rest of the year for articles, but if you send them in, we'll hold them for next year, and we'll start kicking it off with articles that you send in next year. If possible, I do appreciate a variety of articles when you send them in that are scattered across our 4 categories, and those categories, again, were science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really nice ones we like to end on. You can message us on Facebook or on Instagram, or email us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. I can check it every day, so I find some great stuff in there. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment on our videos on Facebook and our YouTube videos to get the good news and the joy out into the algorithm. We're trying to figure all that out. We're still new to this, figuring out how to get into the algorithm and get that good news going. But I got to tell you, I couldn't be more thankful to all of you for over 200 followers and over 40 subscribers on YouTube. And we just started the YouTube this year, so this has been huge. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Never going to tell anybody to do anything, but I will ask, and I will tell you how appreciative I am for everything you all do to get good news out there and counter all the bad news we are bombarded with. So to all of you, for an amazing year, cheers. And as always, thank you again. Have a great night. I love you all. And I will play us out.